Well, I think the number one thing is that Persia is an ancient nation. It's a country that has 7,000 years of history. It had a government 3,000 years ago. It is surprisingly still to this day, despite having an anti-American government in the past nearly 5 decades, a very pro-American population, which is almost the reverse of what we get in the rest of the region, which is we have pro-American governments but anti-American population.
How representative is the government of Iran of its people then? That's kind of something that I think most Americans really don't understand.
Well, it's not a democratic government. It is an authoritarian government. And even its own surveys show that it's 85% of the Iranian population do not like this regime and would like to see its back. But it has 10 to 15% of its core constituents who are true believers in this system, either for ideological reasons or because they have vested economic interest in it. In a way, they are very committed to make sure that the system survives.
So, I guess one of the issues as we think about the conflict between Israel and Iran and then the U.S. involvement over the past weekend, people have been talking about discussing regime change. Is that something that should be discussed? Is it even a remote possibility in the near to intermediate term?
Well, first thing I would say is that we have to look at our track record of bringing about regime change in that part of the world, and it has been an abject failure after an abject failure. So, engineering from the outside is not really something that we should be looking forward to because of our track record. Second, internally, there is right now no viable, organized, disciplined alternative opposition inside the country or even outside of the country that is able to push this regime over and take power. This is not Syria in 2024 when you had a rebel group in control of
Right.
parts of the country that could just march into Damascus.
Your essay in Foreign Affairs, Don't Give Up on Diplomacy with Iran, I think just so important to me is the idea of who are we speaking to? Are we speaking to the theocracy or are we speaking to the military that I believe supports the theocracy or uses the theocracy?
Well, you're absolutely right. There is really not much difference. This is a militarized theocracy. And talking to, like Iran's foreign minister, for instance, was formerly a member of the Revolutionary Guards. There is really coexistence between the clerical establishment and the Revolutionary Guards. It's like the deep state, basically.
Ali, just since the U.S. attack on Iran over the weekend, there's been conflicting reports from various sources, including the Trump administration officials, about the effectiveness of and the damage inflicted by the Americans on the nuclear sites. What are your sources telling you?
Look, the reality is, at the end of the day, there's only so much we can all know, whether it's intelligence services or DoD or whichever government agency you look at. Even the IAEA, the UN Nuclear Watchdog, they really cannot judge much by just looking at satellite images. The only way to get a full picture is to get the inspectors back on the ground to be able to go into these tunnels and see the degree of damage that has been done. But there are two things we know for sure. One, as Vice President J.D. Vance said the other day, the Iranians had moved the stockpile of near bomb grade enriched uranium that they had about 400
Right.
kilograms. And also, they have a stockpile of advanced centrifuges. And those two things still provide them with a pathway to a bomb.